Hello everybody and welcome to yet another episode of The Week in Technology. My name is Karamjit and along with me is my co-host Miss Aisha.
Hi.
And this week as usual we'll start off with the cover story for the coming week, and that's over to you then, Aisha, because you did the story.
Oh, alright, okay. This is the PCOM is going to have the first National ICT Month in Malaysia. So it's the first time it's being done in Malaysia. And it's the theme is ICT enabling new success. So what they're trying to say, put across, is that it doesn't mean that if you're in not in ICT industry, whether you're in the retail or construction, you can still embrace ICT for new successes. So, for example, traditional businesses that have sold face to face, they should start embracing e-commerce, or even not just business to consumer, business to business also is very important. So, between you and your supplier, there's plenty of spaces where you can use ICT in your business to drive costs down and also to sort of act as a differentiator. So the National ICT Month will be starting from the 20th of July this year.
July, okay. So plenty of time for them to build up publicity.
Yes. I think they have a leadership summit that's a first also for the ICT industry, and a buy online campaign to stimulate, I think, local demand for people to buy more online stuff. And this one can be participated by any businesses. It doesn't have to be that you're selling software or anything. And I mean it's
spearheaded by PCOM, right?
It is. It's spearheaded by PCOM, and I think they also have a corporate social responsibility section. They do some e-waste program for you to recycle your electrical and electronic products. So here's hoping to a good month.
All right. And also, I guess we were glad that the Minister Ong Kili was there to officiate the event. And actually, another story that we've written coming issue is a commentary by me on how do we measure our Minister of Technology and Innovation. So I spoke to people in industry, and we've come up with a few pointers for Khazanah. I'm sure Khazanah will have an army of consultants out there helping them in the short space of time to come up with KPIs for the ministers and deputy ministers. We thought that Net Value would help them along with the industry on how to evaluate Ong Kili. A couple of easy, low-hanging fruit pointers were there, such as, increasing the amount of IP that can be commercialized, coming out from the research institutes. And of course, with that, you cannot put a 6-month time frame to that. So we had suggested maybe looking at that, 2 years from now, seeing whether there's been a dramatic improvement in IP that has been successfully commercialized. And we can lay down to the minister also, if he keeps pushing the message, going down to the universities, spending his time with the research institutes, giving them his support. You can see a lot happening there, we think. That was just one of them. Another one of the things which is not talked about a lot now is that I thought the minister should should tell all the agencies under him that he will not tolerate any financial shenanigans and misappropriation of public funds. And that if any of the agencies is exposed with some of this, the heads of the agencies will be held responsible until the culprit is found. And we made the argument, of course, that a lot of times it may not be the head of the agency who is responsible for some of this, but if you make them responsible for anything that happens in their agency, in their turf, you can be assured that they're going to make sure that nothing is going on that shouldn't be going on in their respective agencies. If the minister has the political will, I think, to make this statement to all his agency heads, I think it'll score him a lot of points and earn him quite a fair bit of respect from the industry.
But then I would think that this would also apply to across all the ministries.
All the ministries, yeah.
Obviously,
but
it's not just MOSTI.
It's Katak and MOSTI that is under our turf and that we feel responsible for.
So this rule would also apply for Dato' Rais Yatim also, since his ministry is also under our purview.
Correct. Communications, And but talking about that, I mean, there were a few more points there. Actually, there were quite a few more. But what we would like is for you readers, once you've read the article, give us some of your ideas too about how the minister should be measured. And I think that's important. He needs to know, and MOSTI needs to know that we expect a lot more from them. Because there's so much more that we as a country can do with technology. So, let us, be like a shadow, KPI watchdog for them. So, please, audience, send us your comments about how you think we can, evaluate the minister, right? So that was one. But just talking about research institutes, I was at a function this morning at FRIM, Forest Research Institute of Malaysia, because FRIM had an MOU signing with a private company called ABF, which is a company based in Johor, and they do research into fiber, not palm fiber,
board, palm-based fiber
yeah,
board.
palm-based fiber. But what they're trying to do is use the fruit bunches from palm, which is a byproduct and which has got no commercial value right now. Let me see the term. The term is called empty fruit branches, right? As the raw material for making medium density fiber boards, which is used for everything in furniture and even in construction. So apparently they've been working on this with FRIM for 10 years.
Wow.
And now that they've perfected the process and it's already been commercialized. That was interesting. So they've already got sales in Malaysia. And in fact, the capacity is very limited right now, but they cannot meet the demand.
Is it cheaper than sort of, I don't know?
Cheaper and better. Why? Because their raw material is this empty fruit branch, which is free. The estates, the palm oil estates, will tell them, hey, come and get this off our hands, So basically the cost to them is just to get a lorry to go over to the palm oil, palm estate, right?
It's waste anyway.
Yeah, it's waste, and bring it out and turn it into something that actually makes money now. And they've already had single-digit revenue, revenue in the single-digit millions, believe it or not.
Wow.
The interesting thing is that the chairman of FRIM, who is Datuk Subuh Muhammad Yassin, he's the chairman. He said that this is the first time FRIM is embarking on a new model where it works with a partner from the private sector from the beginning of the research project. Whereas previously, they would work on the research project on their own, and at the end of it, if there was something that could be commercialized, FRIM would try and commercialize this on its own. And we've written about this, how the universities have taken this approach. But in the universities, in the last few years, they've come up with these technology licensing officers, right? Whose job is to help them, match a private sector which is interested in the technology that they think there's potential to be commercialized, and merge the two together and come up and hopefully go to market. FRIM has tried that. Apparently, it hasn't worked well. So now they're doing this approach. The interesting thing is now that it's already proven to be commercially viable. The chairman of FRIM said that now that the ship has set sail, they will sit down and negotiate, with this company on how to work out the commercial arrangements. Aisha, anything else you want to tie up, talk about for this week before we wrap up the show again? Can we have a guest next week, a new format?
Sorry, I was lost in absorbing what Karam was saying, because this is news to me too. I wasn't there at the event.
Yeah, the event
we'll have a guest next week, Eliza Nordin. I think I can't remember what her title is, but she's probably director or vice president of TEAC Capital. It's a venture capital of. It's part of MavCap. And she recently attended the Web 2.0 conference in San Francisco. So she came back, pretty much enlightened and liking what she heard, And I think we will have her as guest next week. And I think something important that she's going to talk about is how to monetize Web 2.0. It's big, everybody's jumping on a bandwagon, but how do you make money out of it? So actually, readers, you can.
Not readers, viewers.
Sorry, viewers. You can do a poll if you want to see Karam or me interview, whichever you prefer.
No, it's going to be Aisha interviewing Eliza. But anyway, that's all we have for this week's show.
All right.
As usual, please send your comments in. We're glad to say that viewership has gone up each week. We're waiting to hit that magical 1,000 mark, hit or a viewership, and then that makes us really happy. And then from there, we'll aim for 10,000. But in the meantime, have a great and productive week ahead with technology, and we'll see you next week where Eliza and Aisha will hold court.